Hey, hello everybody, welcome on in. Yeah, we are gonna play some more Betrayal at Krondor. And yeah, we'll probably beat it today. We should. We are at the very last chapter. We're probably like halfway or 3/4 of the way through this chapter. So we killed the 6 spell weavers, I think. So now we get to go and find the boss, Akala, and put him out of his misery. So that's kind of going to be the plan for the first part of the stream, and then we'll finish it off with the Blake Stone. So not exactly sure how much of Krondor is left. It might be an hour or less, or it could be 3 or 4 hours. We'll see. All depends on how long the this last part of this dungeon is gonna be. And then we'll gonna do some Blake Stone here afterwards. And then we do more Blake Stone tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And yeah. And then I have to start to figure out my game plan for the week. Not exactly sure yet. But yeah. Yeah, welcome to stream to Demi Colorado and the Connor Dude. Good to see you both. Enjoy your family time at the Connor Dude. So yeah, let's go and let's see the end of this game. Let's go ahead and swap our scenes. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna Mark got stuck there for a second. Alright, so we do have to make it to the new area. So we kind of lost our map when we got traversed floors. So we're gonna have to re-explore because I'm not. Oh. We can. Oh, this is not the right save. Alright, that's yeah, we read that last time. I guess I would save it under the bookmark. It looks more like it. So let's keep the maps. So where are we going? I think we need to go here, I think. There's not much room here, so either A, the boss is going to be right here, or B, there could be another floor to go down over here. And we'll have another level of a dungeon to do. Or it could pop up more north, right? This could be a very quick ending, or obviously the boss could take a while to beat. If he's difficult. Considering that he's a magic user, it might not be too bad-ish. It depends on how many friends he's bringing along with him. I don't remember boss fight. 2 magic users shouldn't be hard. As long as we get the first shot. Providing I killed all the spell weavers. If I did not kill all the spell weavers, we would not be able to enter in here. The hallway widened. A few moments the path turned, opening into a large chamber where a dragon lay curled on the ground. I called for you, unable to reach your mind. The magician wields an amulet which renders his body feeble, and he is in the process of disabling the last of the defenses, which ring the life stone. Makala is reckless, but I do not think he would have crippled you permanently. He must have unearthed some well-heard artifact, likely a product of the Lyron Baktos, the master of dragons. While he will be incapable of ruling your mind, you can still command your dragon's flesh. My ability to know my own future blinded us to the possibility. It is something you will have to attend to later. Gorath, I wish you to stay here and guard the oracle. Oh, so we don't have Gorath with us. Oh, no. Gonna change the boss fight a bit. Thank you, it pains me that protection is necessary. Mark, you may require my change when you reach the Sarai magician. You will have a difficult time in the Lifestone Chamber. No, Gorath, you're given too much to this quest, and seen what should have been seen by no other than myself. You would never so much as scratch Makala's skin before he burned you to cinders. He will be more respectful in the presence of magicians and less likely to do anything rash. For now, you have responsibility to guard the oracle. Hug hurried Owen under the archway. The corridor angled sharply downward, its rough earthen floor littered with slippery ceramic materials, which cracked underfoot with each step taken. In places, the boy glimpsed of the ancient priestos of the Modal-looking race, who stared back at him with eyes filled with enigmatic hate, the cause for which has been millions of years dead. Following a slow bend, they arrived at last what looks to be a stone wall. But quickly Pug muttered a few words, and the door shimmered away into nothingness. Beyond that lay a vast chamber, and Makala was waiting for them. Alright, so it looks like we are already at the boss fight. I've hoped more for you, Makala. When you first came to us years ago, the assembly had such a heart full of dark calculation, but I thought with us you would grow gentleness. We Tasari are, of course, bereft of that quality. Save your prattling for the assembly. You have returned our friendship with cold contempt, treated my daughter as a wolf to his prey, and have defied my interdict to visit Sutherland. Assume nothing between us now other than the respect due between practitioners. Why had the assembly magician seen fit to interpose itself into McDemian affairs? As a whole, the assembly was unable to reach consensus on the matter. They hesitate to dabble in matters that might arouse your ire. Otherwise, dispose with a small problem concerning House Akuma. They decided those who felt the investigation necessary could conduct it at their own volition. I undertook that responsibility. I should be careful taking such a weight upon their shoulders. It may yet trust you. 10 years ago, you engaged in a battle to bar the Valahar of entrance to your world. A battle which you requested the service of several companies and Tasari foot soldiers. As such, the battle became a matter of imperial interest and fell within the jurisdiction of the assembly. You, however, have thwarted all our efforts to gather information about the battle. and have forbade our investigation of Satanan. Many sons of great houses fell, but their bodies were never recovered for the proper rites. Your attempt at evasion are restrictable, Malakala. Never had the assembly concerned itself with the souls of the dead, and I don't believe they are practicing a newfound piety. You wish to learn how I defeated the Valahov? Indeed, how could we not? The Valahov were a race of unspeakable evil and dread power, who once nearly destroyed our world. Although my brothers harbor you with the greatest respect, Bug, you would be incapable of turning aside such monstrous power unaided. Judging by the numerous defenses that bring this abandoned town, we assume the only possible solution. You conceal the thing of power in the caverns here. I cannot fault your fears, but your mythology has been despicable. The lifetime was created in the darkest days of the mad god's rage. A war with the Valahov served to destroy the gods of leukemia. With it, they believed they could conquer every corner of the universe. In all likelihood, they could have. It must have been eternally locked away here. Its existence must die out. With that small handful of us that have looked upon it, you will speak to none of the assembly about what you just found here, or you shall answer to me. I cannot in good conscience keep such a secret. What if such a weapon were wielded against the Empire? Could not such a weapon lay waste to all of our children? We simply cannot bury such a weapon. It must be destroyed for the good of all future generations of the Empire and the Kingdom. Impossible! We have no way what would happen if we attempted to destroy it. It may not be tested without potentially disturbing the Valahov, whose souls now occupy the stone. Ah, as I suspected, you have done nothing to study it. Great though your power may be, you have an inkling of what secrets lie within. That stone, its very essence is obscene. It must not fall into the hands of a hostile power. But God, do not tamper with the stone. It must be left untouched for the good of all. I judge now as my right as the Great One of the Assembly of Magicians. It must be destroyed, Bug, for the good of the Empire. Oh, we can make a save here, and alright, so I don't think we're gonna need this other staff. We lost Gora, so that means we don't have the other potions to take. At least we got strength potions. Enhanced blade, which we're not gonna have. I don't think. So it might be useless. Blades, which we don't have, so we can't use that either. Can't use this. So my best bet is probably put this stuff on. We got some of that, and we got this. This would be useful too. This calls, I think, wolves. I think. So annoy annoy the Makala for a turn or two, maybe. Alright, let's save here. Makala raised his staff, not wanting to take down the Tazari, but realized the choice was made for him. Pug summoned, but his resources were left to him after the Tamarian Cup had blanked his spellcasting ability. Of course, he has friends. Let's try strength drain on these guys first. We need to put Makala in his place. Alright. See if we can destroy one of these or it takes. What? Only 5 damage? You're not gonna be able to melee him. Melee these guys? No. Alright. Now I've got time to test out this theory here. Yeah, you can use as many potions as you want. But take the whole turn. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm not sure if I do anything to them. Yeah, Pug is dead. Alright, so not sure how to kill those guys. Alright. First death, so that didn't work out so well. At least we know that we can heal during combat. We got that firestorm too. Let's go with Skin of the Dragon. You can't access the sword and the stone. So let's try flame, whatever that flame thing is. Where is the that looks like it works. Ah, looks like he's doing some damage up. Unfortunately, Pug did not have Firestorm. You gotta take 2 turns to cast that because I'm about to heal. Try something like how much health you got? Let's go with another Firestorm. Hey there, Steven 80s, welcome on in. Okay. Oh, I missed the last one. The Firestorm is the key to victory, apparently. Let's try Evo Seek. I don't think it's gonna work. That does work. Alright, you. Pug do the same thing. I'm not sure how much more health Makala has. But I think I took 120 damage off of him. $180, he's still alive. It was over! Pug stared at Makala's lifeless form as it lay silently on the hard stone floor. Hiding from the grief that threatened to overcome his pain and exhaustion, he turned to Owen, saw the boy was on his knees. Pug was about to help the boy to his feet when he noticed a strange light filling the chamber. The life stone pulsed warmth. Rays of emerald light touched Owen's solemn features, deepening the hollows of his face as he approached the blasted turf, occupied moments before by Makala's towering rage. Nearby, Pog spoke softly, his voice diffusing off the cavern wall through the thousand bouncing whispers. It may be difficult, Pog said, but don't judge them too harshly. Olin, I have performed acts nearly as monstrous in the name of the common good. I find that hard to believe, Owen replied. You're a good man. So is he in his own way. Loyalty can sometimes misguide even the finest of men. Both magicians flinched in unison and muted swords strike erupted in the corridors outside the chamber. With startling rapidity, the sound approached, dissolving into pattering, desperate footfalls and howling half-scream oaths. Watch yourself! Pug shouted across the cavern. Someone's coming! Harried by a shouting assailant, Gorath backed into the chamber, his sword flying in defense of Pug before him. Repeatedly, razor-like fists flashed out of the darkness to challenge him, but he skillfully turned the attack to his advantage. Finding the rhythm of his opponent, he feigned right when he was expected to move left, and the warrior barreled past him. Delican! Owen exclaimed. Tripped up by Gorath, the Betrayal leader crashed into the ground, snarling all the while in slavering fury. Attempting to rise, he slashed upward with his gauntleted fist. Brutally, Gorath stepped inside his guard and delivered a rain of heavy kicks until the older warrior fell quiet. I suggest you lie still, Gorath snapped, wiping rivulets of blood from his face. I may decide to kill you yet! Hey you! Delican croaked, his voice weak. For a long moment he remained curled in a ball, his breath tearing ruggedly from his throat as he clenched and unclenched his fist. With extreme effort, he turned his head and looked upon the memorizing light of the life stone and froze. No! Pug shook his head in apprehension, welling within him like a black lake as he caught the Mordel's expression. Stumbling forward, he tried to interpose himself in the way, but failing strength abandoned him. No! Running, Gorath effortlessly aside as he rose, delicate eyes flashed with reflected radiance like a puppet on a string. He began to stagger forward and stepped almost childish into plotting. Undoubtedly, something had control of his mind. Dazed but alive, Gorath leaped to the attack and jolted hard into the Betrayal leader. His miscalculated blow carried both of them, not down, but forward into the life stone. Together, they reached for the sword. What madness is this? Who? Something within the sword consumed! Can't fight it! Him! Ashen sugar! The valley souls trapped in the stone of slipping their bonds! We have to kill them both! What about Gorath? You must, Owen! Evil can't fight it! He'll much longer! Can't hold him! Now! Owen stared blankly at the life stone. We killed him! Owen said, a bitter hurt in his words. He's come to the kingdom to warn us and we killed him! Don't be petulant, Owen. This isn't the time for it. Glaring at Pug with shock, Owen opened his mouth to reply, but found that eloquent words failed him. Angered, he turned as if to leave and felt the master magician's hand on his shoulder. Wait! Pug said, his voice more gentle than it had been. Meeting the boy's hateful gaze, he motioned for him to stay. You must understand, Gorath was dead the minute he touched the sword. If we had hesitated another moment longer, both he and Delicate would be dead and an unspeakable evil would be loose in our world. When Delicate began to change, could you see the Valar were dumped in the moldum into a form they could use? Do you remember the terrible devastation we saw in Tamayara? That would be a paradise compared to the life we would lead under the Dominion. I'm telling you, this because you now have knowledge and abilities which come with terrible responsibilities. You have to make decisions far worse than this someday if you continue down the path you are on. You're going to have to learn to think before you act, but never to regret your decisions, right or wrong. Otherwise, you slowly begin not to make decisions at all. But how can I know which are the right decisions, Owen asked. How can I be sure? Pug squeezed his shoulder. You need to live to a ripe old age to know that, and I'm not nearly old enough to have an answer. All I know is what Macros the Black once told me. He said to train those around you well, to make them powerful, but also to make them loving and generous. I see those things in you. What is this betrayal? Betrayal was Bakala, because he was part of the Order of Magicians. And he betrayed the kingdom and the empire. Just so we can find out what the Lifestone was, and you're going to destroy it because he's the greater evil. The battle was against them. Enraged war leader Moirwolf growled orders to his terror-stricken lieutenants as we reviewed the weakening line from the safety of an elm-shaded hill. Watch with the fury as his forward ranks of pikemen retreated under an unexpectedly heavy rain of kingdom longbow fire. In a short while, the combined mass of Prince Arutha's relief forces and the garrison of Sethanon beat the magicians to push them into only quarter of the city where they would be unable to retreat, and then it would only be a matter of hours before they would be forced to surrender or die in a blaze sent to flush them out. War leader Moirwolf, you must come quickly! Hearing a commotion to his left, he muttered a silent curse on Delicate's head for leading them on to a fool's errand and snapped his attention to a small group of Waddell, who were advancing towards him, faces flushed with excitement. Their leader, a scar-faced whelp of 20 summers, knelt reverently to his feet before breathlessly delivering his message. At the keep! Your father has taken Prince Arutha, and I believe the masked one is with him. The tide of the battle turns! Stalking skeptically after the messengers, he progressed through the ruined avenue into a cobbled central square filled with the versatile warriors. Above them, delicate mounted a fire-blackened parapet. One of the keep preceded by a mysterious robed figure, and the Prince of Krondor. The leader bound hand and foot, unable to do anything but follow where he was led. Well then! Silence fell over the square as the robe-clad figure stepped past Arutha and Dalakan into an archer's turn, and a hand placed over the right breast. Ripping open his white garment, it revealed a body made gaunt with hunger, while bearing an unmistakable curling purple birthmark which resembled a dragon with the mark of a legend. Instantly, a chant rose among the Model warriors, many of them falling to their knees in ecstatic reverence. I have returned, O my children! Damia shouted from the battlements, revealing a glittering sword in gold, its hilt set with stones of lapis. Hidden deep in the chambers of earth below our feet, Prince Arutha sought to keep the sword from me, from us, the key to our future. For 10 years he imprisoned me in the bowels of this hell against my will. But you have freed me, he said, sweeping the air with the sword. 10 years ago I promised you the dawning of a new age. I was repaid with abandonment. But today I am free, because you have followed Delicaton, believed in our dream. You have demonstrated your worthiness and loyalty, and as a reward, you shall all bear witness to the death of the Lord of the West and the final fulfillment of the prophecy. A dark cheer ripped through the crowd as Memedamius held the sword aloft and faced Arutha, his lips curled back in a wicked smile as he advanced on the dazed prince, considering the things he had been done to him. The crowd thought it likely the former leader would execute Arutha slowly, and then they were ripe for the spectacle. Abruptly, Memedamius halted. Beneath him, the stones of the keep began to tremble, as if entirely of the structure were being shaken by an invisible hand. His look of proud defiance suddenly turned outrage. What treachery is this? Memedamius screamed. Who meddles with the prophecy? As if the answer, thundering pealed overhead, announcing the arrival of a great dragon and rider, appeared seemingly a form from the very air itself. Floating down from dizzying heights, they descended to the point level where the keep's rooftops and dragon wings, beating great gales of wind against the crowd. The prophecy is false, Memedamius. As are you, Pug shouted from the dragon back. You have betrayed the folk of the kingdom and those of your own people for a lie. It is time for your terror to come to an end. As Pug's command, Arutha ducked narrowly, averting death as the dragon skimmed low overhead, lashing the battlements with the titanic whip-like tail, hurling both Memedamius and Delican, screaming like babes into horrified hordes who watched far below, burning away from the impact of the two. Bystanders hastened to escape, fearing the possible second attack from the flying dragon and equally menacing rider. Standing in the midst of the crowd, Melwolf looked on, void in pain or in fear, his voice calmly clear as he addressed the guarded lieutenant near him. Gather your kin and call the retreat! Lord Morwolf, we may still win! Lead us! Collaring the green-skinned creature, Morwolf lifted him off his feet. I now lead the nations of the north, and my first command is that I shall lead us home! Call the retreat! Morwolf spat, hurling the goblin backward. The day is theirs. But I must see to something first. Disregarding the panicked warriors who sought egress from the square, Merwolf picked his way over the burning rubble to where his father lay dead, his wolfish eyes reflecting only the clouds of smoke which drifted through Sethanon. For all his father's grand schemes, for all the things that he thought to accomplish, he was nothing now. Nothing but a hulk of dead flesh. He had been a fool to trust the Cesarian magician, Leaning over the dead body, Beowulf snatched up the golden sword which Myrmidonius had retrieved from the cavern below. Although he knew very little of the prophecy which had inspired both his father and Myrmidonius to their death, he had no intention of wasting what little they had gained in the battle. Perhaps when he returned to the Northland, he could find a way to harness the power of the artifact, assuming it had any powers at all. Beowulf! Turning, the Mordell leader had no time to react before the lightning-quick assassin was upon him, driving a knife skillfully through his left eye and deep into his brain, killing him instantly. Without a sound, he crumpled to the ground across the dead father, dropping the sword even before he could raise it. Smiling coldly, Nara withdrew the knife and wiped clean the gray flesh from the bone blade. Then snatched Myrmidonius' prized sword from where it lay abandoned on the ground. One by one, he had borne witness to the destruction of his rivals, Gorath of Ardanian, his own brother Nago, Delican, and his son Beowulf, all destroyed by their own greed or inaction. Now there will be the matter of dealing with the bitch, Lilian, who has been Delican's mate, and then he might reclaim the throne of Sargoth for himself. Assuming no bastard gets of the former war leader claim to the right. It would be a small consequence, however. For now, he possessed what they had sought. Assuming he did, he would learn to exploit the newfound advantage. Receiving his knife and his boot, he spotted a slow-moving band of Mordell limping toward the dimwit, and he hurried to join them, blending in with the crowd in the same manner in which he had come to settle on, as an unrecognizable face in a mob of the beaten and angry. Arutha watched with mild wonder as Pug conjured the prince's duplicate into non-existence, and just as quickly eliminated the remarkable lifelike illusions of Delican and Myrmidonius, who lay crumbled on the ground below the keep. The corpse of Delican's son would have to be removed later by less arcane means. Shame we didn't have you with us at Armageddon, cousin. Pug, Arutha said, the performance such as that before Myrmidonius' retreat might have won us the battle. Pug shook his head. Spectacle won't win battles, but at least it may prevent the Dark Brothers from plotting another attack against Setanon. With a dozen or more Mordell witnesses you've left alive on the battlefield, most of them should return alive to the Northlands. Having seen their leader die and possessing the object Myrmidonius sought, they have little reason to return here. Let us hope, Arutha said. I have little desire to do this again. What about the artifact? Owen says. A useless sword, replied with a grin. The uncle all indicated a hidden room where I might find it when I asked for assistance with the plan. Shortly after the Mordell gentleman who picked up it returned to Sir Sargoth, he discovered it useless. He cursed the names of both of them for having spilled so much Mordell blood on false prophecies. Seeing James and Locklear poking about in the ruins near the keep, Arutha scowled. I have a feeling those two are going to keep me busy for months with their questions about this place. Fortunately, they're loyal. If I tell them the subject is closed, they'll both trust me enough to leave the issue alone. You can always tell them the sword was truly what was buried here, Owen suggested. The answer is good enough for the Mordell. Arutha shook his head. Locklear will probably forget the matter once he sees the pretty young face in Krondor. But Jimmy is different. He won't accept it, though. He would never ask anything more. I don't like that. I will have to lie to him. He's as loyal a subject as I ever had. What about the Cesari? Owen asked. Nodding, Arutha seemed equally concerned with Pug's answer. I shall have a talk with them. A well-respected member of the Assembly of Musicians named Hosa Papa already knows something of the event, and he will help me assure their fears. Pug said. Thankfully, they had their hands tied with another bothersome individual at the moment. Satisfied, Arutha said his farewells and moved off to the assistance of evacuating the remaining soldiers from the area, fearing that some might become too curious and discover things best left unfound. While watching the prince depart, Pug smiled quietly to himself, eating Olin's attention. You seem pleased about something Olin said. What is it? You will know that the prince said nothing about your silence, Pug said. You know the secret of Tetanon and all Makemia, only Prince of Uther, King Liam, Duke Merton, Thomas of Elvendar, and myself truly know what lies beneath our feet. As if to reinforce the point, Pug tapped his staff at Owen's feet. What are you saying? Smiling, Pug began to lead him down the winding path toward the city's smashed southern gate. Would that mean that the prince expects me to guarantee your silence? That will be difficult to do with you and Tyburn and me at the Academy of Magicians at Stardock. It required that I make a number of long and tiresome journeys for the sole purpose of ensuring you kept your silence. It seemed like a waste of time. Stopping to look in the sunset, Pug seemed lost in thought. Of course, it is possible I could take you as a student of magic. Your living expenses paid in full by Prince of Uther. Are you interested in becoming a true magician, Owen? Laughing for the first time in a great while, Owen twirled his staff in his hand. I've never wanted anything else. Alright, that is the end of Betrayal at Krondor. We should actually do credits here. So just the only way to get credits is to restart the game. So we'll go ahead and do that. To get to see the intro one last time before we wrap it up. And then, yeah, we will start some Blake Stone. And that give me time to get my voice back. You know, while this is going on, I'm gonna go take a quick bathroom break. But I will be back here in a minute, and we'll get started with Blake Stone. Alright, I am back. Thank you for the GGs there, Sundog. Very much appreciated. Yeah, the game had both treachery and betrayal. Yeah, Makala was the evil, even though he was not really super evil. He just wanted to know more about the Life Stone and wanted to destroy it so it never happened again, but I didn't realize that destroying the Life Stone might cause some other effects. So, well, yeah, we're gonna do some Blake Stone. And we'll see how far we get today. Probably finish scenario 4. And maybe get through most of 5. Alright? Yep. Alright. And we'll definitely be adding Betrayal Krondor music to the soundtrack list. I need to